A US-donated Bradley infantry fighting vehicle has destroyed 2 Russian armored personnel carriers in eastern Ukraine. New footage appears to show, after Kyiv reported intense fighting on the eastern front lines. The Bradley, operated by Ukraine's 47th Mechanized Brigade, took out 2 Russian-wheeled personnel carriers, Ukraine's defense ministry said on Sunday, sharing footage appearing to show the 2 vehicles under attack as they move through an open field. Several soldiers pile out of the vehicles after at least one explosion, dropping to the ground as they come under fire. A later clip, appearing to have been captured from an airborne drone, shows one of the APCs on fire. The Pentagon has provided Ukrainian forces with more than 300 Bradleys, according to the Department of Defense. The Bradleys have firepower provided by their 25mm cannons, 7.62mm coaxial machine guns, and Tau anti-tank missile launchers, used to target Russian armored columns. In a separate post to social media, the 47th Mechanized Brigade said its scouts had detected the Russian troops and waited for the soldiers to move into an open area before firing the Bradley's chain gun. A commander with the 47th Mechanized Brigade told Newsweek in January that Russian forces were afraid to launch operations when they know that a Bradley will be against them. Western experts have described the vehicles as a valuable piece of kit, involved in some of the most intense fighting along the front lines. The 47th, which also operates US-provided M1 Abrams tanks, has long been deployed in the thick of fighting in Donetsk. Despite Russian forces launching a new offensive on Ukraine's northeastern Kharkiv region last month, Kyiv's military has reported some of the fiercest clashes in Donetsk. Moscow's defense ministry said on Sunday that its forces had captured Umanske, a village west of Avdiivka, and to the southeast of Pokrovsk. Ukraine's military described fighting northwest of the Russian-controlled city of Avdiivka, close to regional capital, Donetsk City, as intense on Sunday, saying its fighters were attempting to stabilize the situation. Russia tried to advance around 2 villages to the east of Pokrovsk, a Ukrainian defensive stronghold, Kyiv's armed forces said. One of the settlements identified was Sokol, directly north of Umanske. In a later statement, Ukraine's general staff said it was repelling Russian attacks near Umanske. Ukrainian forces captured dozens of Russian troops in Kharkiv Oblast on Sunday, a military official said, amid reports Kyiv has regained some ground in the embattled region. Some 60 Russian soldiers were captured near the war-ravaged town of Vovchansk, where fierce battles are ongoing. Nazar Voloshin, a spokesman for Ukraine's Khortytsia Operational Strategic Group, told local publication Liga.net. Ukraine controls 70% of Vovchansk, which had a pre-war population of 17,000. Fierce clashes have been ongoing after the Kremlin's forces kick-started an offensive in the Kharkiv region on May 10th, seizing a number of villages on Ukraine's northeastern frontier and forcing thousands of civilians to flee. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has claimed that Russian losses during its Kharkiv offensive were 8 times higher than Ukraine's. Newsweek could not independently verify the claim and has contacted Russia's defense ministry via email for comment. Julian Rupka, an open data analyst with the publication Build, shared footage on X, formerly Twitter, that first circulated on Telegram, which purportedly shows the moment the Russian troops were captured. Russian soldiers seems to surrender in Vovchansk. This is around 600 meters north of what Russian sources claim to be the current front line. So Russia seems to be losing ground there, wrote Rupka. Ukrainian troops recaptured several areas in Vovchansk using reinforcements via a German-supplied Biber bridge-laying vehicle, he wrote in another post. Russian invasion forces further advanced SW to the center and are now around 400 away meters from the destroyed Vovcha bridge. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, a US-based think tank, said in its latest analysis of the conflict in Ukraine on Monday that Kiev's forces had recently regained some positions within Vovchansk. Geolocated footage published on June 2nd shows that Ukrainian forces regained a position along Dukovna Street in central Vovchansk. Additional geolocated footage published on June 3rd shows Russian and Ukrainian forces engaged in close combat along Dukovna Street, suggesting that Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking to contest Russian control of positions along the street, the think tank said. Ukrainian military observer Kostiantin Mashovets sardonically noted that Russian mill bloggers are complaining about increased Ukrainian counterattacks in the Kharkiv direction, and warned that Russian sources may claim in coming days that Russian forces repelled a serious Ukrainian counteroffensive in this direction, the ISW added.
Орудие! Выстрел! Сразу второй. Заряжен. Орудие! Выстрел!